What's going on, Falcon fan? This is your boy Ricardo come back at you with another video. So today we're gonna talk about these Atlanta Falcons and how disappointing they have been this season. And it's just time to see the light. And the fact is that the Atlanta Falcons are not a good team, and they're not a good coach team. And we just need to go ahead and realize that. It's sad that we had to go through this season to actually get to see it firsthand. All the hype that we had during the off season, all the high expectations we had for this team. It all just throughout this year, it just not what we thought it was. And at some point, we just need to go ahead and realize and come to the conclusion that, old saying, Denny Green, the Falcons are not who we thought they were. It's just that simple. They're not who we thought they were. Um, and over this year, it's really just obvious to see that this coaching staff have failed um, mightily, mightily. They have failed, and it started at the top at the head coach, but um, what we've seen from the Falcons this year is just a repeat. Like if you've been a Falcon fan for a long time, like me, a lot of stuff that you seen from this team this year is some of the same stuff we've been seeing from the Falcons for years, right? It's just they find a way to lose games, um, and it's just sad. It really is. So we're gonna get into that today. Um, yes, the Falcons lost to the two wins. The Jets had two wins on the season, and one of those wins was against another team that haven't won a lot, right? So the fact that Atlanta Falcons, a team that was had aspirations for winning the division, winning the playoffs, they come in the season with all the talk about we're not going to talk about it, we're going to show it, and at the end of the day, what did they show us? That it's the same old Falcons, man. It's the same old Falcons, and it's sad. And we're going to talk about it today. So with that being said, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell so you know I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys are here to talk about. And please share my video, share this video throughout the YouTube universe so more Falcon fans, all the ones that still left, right? Because I know a lot of fans don't give up on this team, but guys, if you're real fans, it is what it is. And this is our team, man. We suck again. Um, it's going to be 8 years, right? Last time we was in the playoff was 2017, um, and we're going to miss it again. It's just that simple. And it's probably time for um, our change. I mean, we kind of figured it was going to be the case anyway, but the Atlanta Falcons really need to do some soul searching. Um, 2 years ago, they made the wrong choice. If you guys go back and chronicle, I wanted them to get Bill Belichick. I think accountability and discipline is what we needed from this team for so many years now. Looking what Bill Belichick has done since he went to college and all that stuff, um, he probably wasn't the right guy either. But you know, go look at the record of some of the coaches during that coaching cycle. Look at their records on how they got their team playing. Um, the Atlanta Falcons made the wrong choice. It's just that simple, and it's no other way to look at it. So we're gonna go today. We're gonna definitely talk about the game, and I'm gonna do it a little different today than I've been doing it before. And we're gonna talk about the offense against the Jets, right? So from an offensive standpoint, and like when you look at what the Atlanta Falcons actually was able to do yesterday on offense, you kind of like you okay, they had a chance to win this game, right? For one reason only. Bijan Robinson had 142 yards rushing, 51 yards receiving, almost 200 all-purpose yards from our electric young running back, and the Atlanta Falcons lose, right? It just tells you, like, I did a video about winning in the margins, right? And Atlanta Falcons don't win anything in the margins, right? So once again, it was 4 for 12 on third down, right? All season long, the Atlanta Falcons have been horrific on third downs, and once again yesterday they was bad on third downs. They just 4 for 12. It's not good. You know what's interesting? They one of the best off red zone teams since week 9, right? They probably, a matter of fact, I think they're the best red zone team since week 9, right? But they can't get the red zone because they can't get first downs, and third downs have been terrible for this Atlanta Falcons team all year long, right? We started this season talking about they had to be really good on third down. They had to be really good in the situation of football. The Falcons have not been good on any of that, none of that. And yesterday was some of the same, right? Um, the rest of the ball, well, Bijan had an outstanding day, 142 yards rushing, 51 yards receiving. Kyle Pitts, we seen a lot from Kyle Pitts. He did a really good job as well yesterday. No drops from him, finally. Um, but for the most part, I felt Kirk Cousins did not have a bad game yesterday. I, you know, he wasn't electric. He wasn't our world or anything like that. But I thought Kirk Cousins played a pretty good, decent game for the Atlanta Falcons yesterday. So from an offensive standpoint, it should have been no reason Atlanta Falcons lost. Because I thought they put up the numbers. Now, some of the things that's been hindering them all season long, not being good on third down, once again, they failed in that category. They was not good on third down at all again. And it's just sad to see, guys. I don't know why Raheem Morris don't see it. Why he don't see it. He came out, coaching changes again today. You know why no coach changes? Because all the coaches are going to be gone at the end of the year. So you might well do not change any coaches. Somebody asked, which is a great question, right? After week 3, you decided to let the wide receiver coach go. And you let Ray McCloud go, right? You had 3 drops yesterday that could extend the game, could have put Atlanta Falcons in position to go down and kick our own self a winning field goal, and it did not take place yesterday. And for one reason, because the lack of talent at the receiver room. Is a healthy scratch for Casey Washington, a guy who was playing really, really good football in training camp, right? We thought he was going to have a breakout season, right? He's a healthy scratch. Cardell Hodge, Pro Bowl special team for last year, receiver. He's a healthy scratch as well, right? So you fire the wide receiver coach and Ike Hilliard. You get rid of the guy that was our third target last year in Ray McCloud. You bring in a guy that's 30 years old and David Seals, and I'm not saying anything about him. I thought he had a decent game, even though he had a terrible drop at the end of the game. But what if that Ray McCloud? What if he was there? Maybe he could have made that catch. He had a breakout year last year. So some of the moves that Raheem has made, to me, is really questionable, right? Like I said, you fired the wide receiver coach at the week three, which was a horrible loss. I get it, but the whole team played bad that game. It wasn't just the receiver. So trying to figure out why he was considered the scapegoat after week 3. You get rid of Ray McCloud, like I said, who was our third targeted receiver last year behind Drake London and Darnell Mooney. You get rid of him, right? And then this game, we decided to healthy scratch Casey Washington and Cardell Hodge and bring in guys off the practice squad that we haven't seen get any play this year from this Atlanta Falcons team. So questionable, really, really questionable. And those drops that the Atlanta Falcons gave up in New York yesterday is the downfall while we end up losing the game. So, so much for this Atlanta Falcons team to look at from an offensive standpoint. But the biggest problem with this team And it's been the biggest problem with this team for years. They just don't make plays when they need to make plays. And it's so strange that on crucial plays in the game, the Atlanta Falcons never execute. Never execute. Right? It doesn't matter if it's a 4th and 2 on, they can't get it. If it's a crucial get this catch and we can kick a field goal, they don't get it. They never execute on crucial plays. Never. It never happens. And that's why the Atlanta Falcons don't win games. That's why. On the offensive side of the ball, right? They had one penalty yesterday from the Atlanta Falcons. One penalty. Atlanta Falcons only had one penalty the entire game, right? Some of this stuff you just can't make up, guys. You have to try to put it in perspective, right? 222 passing yards, 32 rush attempts, which utilized the run game. Like I said, one penalty, right? Just don't understand why the Atlanta Falcons can't succeed in offense. So from an offensive standpoint, the Atlanta Falcons against the Jets played well enough to win the game. Just put in respect, it was not a lights out performance, except from the Bijan, of course, but from Kirk Cousins and from Kyle Pitts, I thought they did enough to win this game, right? But in the end, the Atlanta Falcons didn't do enough to get the win. That's just where it boils down to, right? The New York Jets had a total of 269 yards, and most of those points came on one drive. Most of those yards came on one drive. Just that simple. The Atlanta Falcons just don't know how to get it done. And offensively, they didn't get it done in situational football. And in my opinion, when you don't get it done in situational football, it's coaching. It's the will, the want, and then the coaching. We don't see that from this Atlanta Falcons team. We don't see the will, we don't see the want, and then we see the coaching mistakes that happens in situational football. In the games, last 2 minutes of games, last 2 minutes of halves, 4-minute offense, third down, red zone, they don't capitalize on none of that. It just does not happen, right? Fortunately, the red zone has probably been the only thing that's been working over the last few weeks. But if you take those red zone snaps away, everything else has been abysmal, right? You look at 4 for 12 on third down again, just is not going to get it done. It's just that simple. There's where the nooks and crannies of this Atlanta Falcons offense is failing tremendously. So there you have it. That's the offense. It's really nothing else to say about it besides the fact we wasted another great game by Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson probably going to be third or in the top 5 for sure in scrimmage yards. Nobody's going to be talking about him again because of the team that he plays for, right? Just wasted talent, a guy that's got all the tremendous upsides to be a superstar in this league, but nobody will never know about Bijan Robinson because he plays for the Atlanta Falcons, and that's what it boils down to. The league gave the Atlanta Falcons 5 primetime games this year because they believed in the hype, right? We all was fooled. Even the league was fooled about what we thought we was going to see out of this offense this year. And so far, and to the end, we didn't see nothing from this offense. So guys, let me know what you think about the offensive performance for this Atlanta Falcon team yesterday. Besides from Bijan, Kyle Pitts, Kurt played decent. Drop passes, can't execute when we need to. 4 for 12 on third down again, and None of that is a recipe for winning on the offensive side of the ball. Man, this is the worst coaching Atlanta has ever put on the field. I agree. I agree with you 100%. I agree. This is by far the worst coaching team, worst coach team the Atlanta Falcons ever had. It's the worst coach team. We can go back. We can even go back to old boy that left in the middle of the night. You can go back to him. They wasn't even this bad. You know, you know, he left, and we want the coach. We don't even want to talk about. He left. He left. Went to the Razorbacks, and we never going to talk about him. Being an Atlanta Falcon coach, but I still believe that his coaching tenure with Atlanta Falcons has been better than Raheem Morris this time around. Atlanta Falcons are 6-14 in the last 20 games. I seen that stat today. 6-14 in the last 20 games. With all this talent on the team, man, the worst. You're 100% correct. It's the worst coach team ever. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. They run the same plays every week. No doubt about it. I was talking to somebody about today. We talk about offense. How many crossing routes have you seen the Atlanta Falcons run where the receiver just run away from the defender? When they play man and the receivers run away from the defender, running away from the defender, and you throw a crossing route. How many have we seen? I can't recall any crossing routes this year. I can't recall any. Just how many comebacks? Like what is the route tree? It seems like it's short or long. I don't see no seams up the middle to your tight end where you can take mismatches. You don't see none of these plays. None whatsoever. Right? You right. This is the worst coach team ever. So it is, man. It's a shame because players are good. Exactly. And that's why it's hurt so bad, because we had a bad team, right? And this is a bad team. I'm gonna take that back. This is a bad team, but and the reason it's bad because of the coaching. But we don't understand why they playing like this, because you got the talent, man, right? I think from a personnel standpoint, it's holes. Now there are holes on this team, right? I think the secondary is suspect a little bit. The linebacker core is suspect. We need a bigger body in the middle of the defensive line. We definitely need some more pass catchers, receivers, because they are bad. But this team is built well enough to win games. And it shows you, because we're in every game and we lose the way we lose. That's why it's sickening, man. We lose the way we lose. Atlanta Falcons could have won so many of these games. It's just the fact that they not coach well at all. At all. That was Matt Ryan. Yes, that crossing route. That's you right, man. Julio, that crossing route, and man, every time you right, 100%. That was a signature play. That man, that's a hard route to cover, especially man to man, because your defender's trailing you already. If you get out the line clean, it's trailing you. That's automatically, when you got talented receivers. Like, we don't do any crossing routes. Everything is so hard with his offense. It seems like it's so hard. Only thing that looked good most of the sometimes is when Bijan started to go off like he did yesterday, right? Other than that, everything looks so hard, right? You go around the league, you see plays, you see guys wide open all the time. We never scheme guys wide open. We never call plays when we gotta have it plays. Every team got plays that we gotta have it, right? This is my best play on third and fourth down, and we're going to be able to get this done. And we don't see that, right? We do not see that. Every play is like, wow, they made it. Like it's a miracle they converted on the play. That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like on the offensive side of the ball. No crossing routes. None, man. You are right. None whatsoever. None. I like Kyle Pitts a mismatch. You put Kyle Pitts going up the seam on the safety. That's a mismatch, man. Mike Vick used to throw that Edger Crumpler all the time. He throw that pass to Edger Crumpler all the time, right at the seam. Patrick Mahomes throw routes to Travis Kelce like that all the time, right? The choice routes. We don't see choice routes. We don't see anything out of this offense that would make you feel like this offense have opportunity to do something special. So that's what we don't see. That's what we'll see. But guys, that's the offensive side of the ball. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. And the defense. So the Atlanta Falcons were able to get 2 more sacks. They played fairly well for most of the game. They really did, right? They played fairly well for most of the games. But once again, they can't get off the field. They can't get off the field on third down. The New York Jets on third down yesterday. Let me see here. On third down yesterday, the New York Jets were 7 for 16 on third down. Their offense was 7 for 16 on third down. And most of that came in the second half, right? This team does not play consistent football enough. They don't play consistent football enough on defense, right? They play really well on first and second down all the time, right? They look like the 85 Bears on first and second down. And then on third down, they convert back to the same Atlanta Falcons we've been seeing for years. Like third and longs. This team gives up so many third and long plays in so many different ways. Like if it's a screen play, if it's a run by the quarterback, if it's a tip ball that should have been intercepted by the quarterback, right? They give up so many yards on third and long, right? You got to think about it. Let's go back to the Indianapolis Colts game. It's 3rd and 21. 3rd and 21. The Atlanta Falcons give up 19 yards scramble to Daniels, right? You guys remember that. They gave up a third down long to Josh Allen. Luckily, he turned the ball over right after that, right? But they gave up a third and long to Josh Allen. They gave up third and long twice yesterday to the New York Jets, right? That's what they do, man. This is what Atlanta Falcons do, right? You play well on first and second down, and then on third down, situational down, gotta have it plays, gotta have it done plays. They never execute those plays. Never. That's why they bad. And that's coaching. Right? You work on these plays. These are the plays we gotta have it. Right? You play well on first and second down, but when you gotta have the plays, they never make the plays. That's why the Atlanta Falcons lose. They never make the plays on gotta have it plays. Everybody know how important third downs are. Everybody know how important you got to get off the field in the red zone, right? Hold them to a field goal. They never make the plays. And that's coaching, man. That is coaching. That's what it is. It's not good. There are holes in this defense, right? We probably need a solid defensive tackle to come in. We do. We need another cornerback on the other side. AJ Terrell, even though AJ Terrell pissed me off yesterday, trying to tackle with his shoulder instead of wrapping up, right? Does that a lot. And when you do that, you're giving up yards, man. Make the play. I know you're physical, but you can't go in and lower your head and don't hit nobody and just woof. Like you gotta hit, you gotta make the tackle, man. You trip them up with your feet on the ankle or something. Do something, give them to the ground. But we got holes on this defense. We got holes in secondary. We got holes probably at the linebacker position. No depth there, right? Defensive front is some holes there, right? We probably need some better defensive tackles in the middle, right? Pass rush finally been fixed, right? Atlanta Falcons is third in the league with sacks, right? They got 2 more sacks yesterday. So from a defensive standpoint, the Atlanta Falcons played well till when they had to play well. That's been the same story this entire year. They play well until when they have to play well and they can't get the job done. They never get the job done. 4th and 2 in New England. 4th and 2 in New England. You get the stop, you get the ball back, you have an opportunity to go down and win the football game. 4th and 2, Indianapolis Colts. You get the stop. You don't have to let them kick the field goal, and they don't win the game. If you stop the 3rd and 21 for giving 19 yards, you won't even have to worry about them kicking the field goal. These are the games where, when you look at the performance from this team, you're disappointed, right? You should have won the Saints game, should have won the Colts game, you should have won the Patriots game, and you should have won the game yesterday. That put Atlanta Falcons at 7 wins right there. That put Atlanta Falcons at 7 wins right there. Games that they lost because they could not get the play done when they needed to get it done. That's the prime example of a bad coach team. Because you can get it done on first down, you can get it done on second down. That means you could get it done on third down, and they can't get out the field on third down. It's not happening, man. It's not happening. 7 for 16 on third down yesterday. 7 for 16 on third down. The Atlanta Falcons were 4 for 12. That tells you all you need to know. All the defenses we got on, all the talented players we got on the defense, they don't execute when they need to execute, or they're not coached properly to execute when they need to execute, because they execute plays throughout the game. But when we gotta have it done, we gotta have the play. We gotta get a play made for a stop. They can't get it done, man. Like the same old every year, over and over and over again. Comment. It's really pissing me off when we just made a TV and took it from the New York Jets to school. I know, man. I thought that was it. We went up. I thought sure we went up 21-14. I'm like, okay, now we can go ahead and close this thing out. No, we can't. No, we can't. Mike Hughes fall down on the route. Coach Raheem will probably be a good college head coach next season. Man, this is bad. This is the bad coaching. Bad coaching. Terrible coaching. All right, let's get to the last part of what really happened yesterday. Special teams. And this probably the real reason we lost yesterday. Special teams. Special teams. And special teams been garbage all season long. Special teams been garbage all season long. But this is probably why we lost the game yesterday, right? You muff the ball at the 2-yard line, and they go in for a score. We get momentum, and then we let them run a kickoff all the way back to the red zone on the other side of the field. And then the coach, this right here, this is the saddest part about this whole thing. The coach admitted that he didn't want to kick it in play because he know his defense, they giving up yardage. So he wanted to kick it in the red zone more. You know, when you kick in the red zone more, they get the ball at the 35 automatically. So you giving them half of the field because you don't trust your kick coverage to make a play. You coach it every day. You coach it every day. Put the right players out there. You the head coach. You got to hold people accountable. So you're admitting he's actually admitted on to the press that he wanted to kick it out of bounds more because he didn't trust his kick coverage. That's bad coaching, man. Well, put the right people out there, and then you take out one of the guys that was a Pro Bowl last year and making plays on kickoff and kickoff returns and Cardell Hodge, and you make him a healthy scratch. Like I, I don't understand what you're doing, bro. I don't get it. I don't get it. But this is the reason we lost yesterday. Special teams, right? We missed a field goal, right? Even though it was a long field goal, we missed a field goal. We muffed the punt, and then we gave up a kickoff return that put them in scoring position. Those three plays are long. The reason Atlanta Falcons lost this game yesterday. And the fact that it's not something that's happened once this year, it happens numerous of times this year where special teams has become a really big issue for this Atlanta Falcons teams. 100% special team is an issue, right? If it's not kicking, it's kick coverage. It's just been bad, man. It's really been bad. And for him not to make any changes at all this week, just let you know what it is, right? All right. He don't want to listen to the outside noise. Well, dude, the writing on the wall, you don't have to listen to outside noise. You can see it for yourself, right? You always say stats are for losers. Well, when you look at the stats of special teams for the Atlanta Falcons, yes, we losers on special team. It's just that simple. You little saying stats are for losers. Well, the stats on special teams for Atlanta Falcons is not good, right? We don't get any returns on in the kick return aspect. We don't get any return in punt return aspect. We give up too many yards on kickoff return, punt return, and then we can't make kicks. Special teams lost that game yesterday, right? I talked about the offense, I talked about the defense, and yes, you expect the offense to build out the special teams by making those receivers catching those balls that was right in their hand at the end of the game. You expect the defense to get off the field on third down, make plays, to get an opportunity, another chance. But in reality, all this could have been avoided if special teams play the way, do their part. We always talk about it three phases in football, and right now, special team is getting an F for this season. And the fact that Raheem Morris is sticking status quo, and then recognizing the issues that you have on special teams because you admitted it that you wanted to kick it out in the end zone because you didn't want to return. It just lets you know that your kick coverage has been porous this year. And what are you going to do about it? Put the starters on there. Put sure tacklers out there on kickoff. If you got guys that's not playing that you got on special teams and they can't make the plays, you talk about leverage. Marquise Williams talk about leverage all the time. Well, you're not getting your leverage. And then you take one of your special team aces and you put him as not playing. You put him inactive for the game. It just don't make any sense. You already know you got issues on special teams. One of your best special teamers, been in his league, he made his mark in this league for being a special team player. He was a Pro Bowler last year in Cardell Hodge, and you don't. It was a healthy scratch yesterday for him. Don't make any sense at all, right? This is why Atlanta Falcons lost yesterday. Special teams. Special team is part of the team. It's part of the coaching. It's part of what you need to get done. It's a clip out there. Special team coach when during the Mike Smith era. And I know you guys remember, I can't think of his name right now, but it's a clip out there on social media when he getting into the special team players' ass, man. He's getting into them 100%. He's ripping into these guys because you have to hold people accountable. And that's the issue with Raheem Morris, right? He loved these guys. You know, the whole Dan Quinn crap all over again. It's a brotherhood. And when guys don't do their job, they're not being held accountable. But it's strange because Ray McLeod, Ike Hilliard. You make sudden moves with these guys, but then when guys continually does not do what you ask them to do and continue to have the same issues week in and week out, and you don't make any changes. So what's the difference between what Ray McLeod, Ike Hilliard was not doing, um, Casey Washington being the healthy scratch, Cardell Hart being the healthy scratch, and then all these guys that's continue week in and week out going out and doing bad crap on the field, right? A lot of this stuff is is technique. Do your job, right? You got a gap here, sign gap. Every man has their own responsibility, and if they're not living up to that, why you still got them on the field? Why do you still got them on the field? These guys, this is a one in a lifetime opportunity for these guys. They get an opportunity, right? And if they don't want opportunity, they're not going to take advantage of the opportunity. Why you got them on the field? Doesn't make sense at all. Doesn't make it sense at all. The Atlanta Falcons lost this game because of special teams yesterday. Both punt, kick return, put them in scoring position, and then a missed field goal. All of it on special teams. Bijan almost had 200 yards. Kyle Pitts had a electric day yesterday. Defense played decent. Couldn't get it done in the clutch, just like always, but they did enough yesterday to win. Special teams is the one that let this team down, and there's no other way to sugarcoat it. And if you're a head coach and if you allow it, what does that say about you? What does that say about you? Right? It shouldn't take but one game. But the fact that you think you should kick it out the end zone lets you know your defenses, your special teams can't get the job done. Jets had no problem stopping our runners, our returners. Simple, man. Simple stuff. Jim Ross said, okay, now Falcons need to go get Kubiak for their coach. They need to bring in some coach. I don't know who they need to get. They need to get somebody. This has happened a lot this year, catching punt inside the 10-yard line. That's like textbook 101. You don't even supposed to catch the ball inside your 10. Wow, man. You see what I'm saying? It don't make any sense. That's like textbook 101. You're not supposed to catch the ball inside your 10. We're gonna say John Elway can't block Kubiak this time. You people in Atlanta need to start chatting for Kubiak. It's time for the Falcons to start winning. They do something, man. Hey, they need to do something. I'm not even trying to you. Like, I don't know what they need to do, but they need to do something. Recondo the talent we have. This game shouldn't have been even close. Come to these coaches. Yes, it shouldn't have been close. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But they can't keep sustain drives on offense, right? They can't sustain drives on offense. That's one of the reasons why this game was so close, right? Because they 4 for 12 on third down. They can't sustain drives, right? That's one of the reasons. The second reason is special teams kept them in the game. Like, you know, and the saddest part about it, Aaron Glenn didn't expect to win this game. He didn't expect to beat the Atlanta Falcons. He did not expect. You can see the look on his face. He could like, oh, we got a chance, right? But I keep telling you guys, this is the get right team. If you're not having a good season and you feeling down, your coach about to be out the door. Oh, the Atlanta Falcons on the schedule. We should be good. We're gonna be at. Look at the Miami Dolphins. Look at the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins was dead in the water till they played the Atlanta Falcons. They was talking about the coaches going and everything. Dead in the water. Just go think about that. Think about that. The way the talk around the league before the Atlanta Falcons played the Miami Dolphins. Just think about that. The Miami Dolphins right now got 5 wins. They got 5 wins. Atlanta Falcons got 4. Miami Dolphins got 5 wins. And when they played us, they was talking about getting rid of that team, breaking up the team. They was talking about Waddle being traded. They was talking about so many guys being out the door, right? They played Atlanta Falcons. They got right. That's what happened. You can't make it up, man. You can't make it up. Will Bijan extend his contract with the Falcons next season? You know what? That's a great question. We don't know, man. We don't know the direction of this team because of the uncertainty here. We can't roll another season with Raheem Morris. It just can't be done. Like you can't go back, run it back with this same coaching staff. I'm gonna say it again. The last 20 games, they 6-14. The last 20 games, the Atlanta Falcons are 6-14. You cannot run it back. Can't run it back, man. You just got to let it be. You just got to let it be. And last comment I'm gonna make tonight, guys, is you got to start believing what you see. We have to start believing. We have to start believing what we see. And what we see is a badly coached team that comes in every week. And it shows, right? They're not prepared for situational football at all. That's why they can't get the plays done when it's time to get it done on offense and defense. We can't execute on third down, and we can't stop teams on third down. In crucial moments of the game, we can't execute on offense, and we can't stop people on crucial points on defense. It's a badly coached team, guys. The talent is there. We talk about this talent. Daryl Hose is not a perfect team by no means. And players not making plays when they need to make plays. But coaching is so important in the NFL. So important in the NFL. The Falcons lose the same way all the time. They let a quarterback sneak out the backside for a first down. How many times had that happened to the Atlanta Falcons this year? How many times has that happened? If you're a coach, you got to know that in your head. When we get in this position, we always give up a scrambling quarterback. Call the right defense then, man. Like, I don't understand. Like, this is a badly coached team. We have to start believing what we see, guys. And what we seeing, like, we want this Atlanta Falcons team to be great. But they're not great because they coach poorly. It's just that simple. Just that simple. And I don't know how Arthur Blank can run this back next year. They're not going to get better. They're not going to get better. Just not. We got to believe what we see. This is a bad team. Bad teams find a way to lose. And that's what Atlanta Falcons have done. Not getting blown out. Think about it. The Atlanta Falcons got blown out, what, once this year? Atlanta Falcons got blown out once this year. Every other game, we have not executed when we need to execute. Every other game. Except one. Just put that in perspective. Out of the 12 games we have played this year, out of the 12 games Atlanta have played this year, they got blown out one time. Every other game they played, they had an opportunity to win the game in the fourth quarter. Every other game. And they could not get it done. On offense, defense, or special team. That is coaching. You got to make the plays when they count. Don't matter what you do in the first quarter, man. It doesn't matter what you do in the third quarter. It only matters when the game is on the line. And the Falcons cannot execute when the game is on the line. It's just the bottom line. They do not play winning football when the game is on the line. That's why they lose. That's why they're not a good team. They are who we thought they were. Or they're not who we thought they were. Because a lot of us thought we was gonna be way better than this. But it's so much it's time to stop talking about, we're gonna show you on the field, the camaraderie of this team and stuff like this. This team is done. I told you guys this team was done after the Miami game. I told y'all this. I said they was going to lose to the Patriots. I said they were going to lose to the Indianapolis Colts. They know they was going to lose to the Panthers, man. Didn't see that one coming. Right? They play a bad New Orleans team and get a win, and everybody feeling sky high. Now, don't get me wrong. It's good. It feels good to beat the Aints. But the Aints are bad. It's a bad football team. They're worse than the Falcons. And if you can go look at the stats in that game, you'll see what I mean. We was terrible on third down in that game. We was terrible on third down in that game. That game should have not even been that close either. But the Atlanta Falcons are a bad football team. They badly coached, right? And we're not just saying this because you lose, because Shannon Sharps had the good saying: you should never accept something in a win than you win in a loss, right? And for so long, that's what, as Falcon fans, that's what we've been doing. The signs are there. Just play. We had so much of a big cushion in games, and we somehow, put it off. The Commanders game, right? Good cushion, but a little more time on the clock would have gave it away. Buffalo game, a little more time on the clock would have gave it away. The Aints game, a little bit more time on the clock would have gave it away, right? The signs were there. We just didn't see it, right? Because we won those games. But the Atlanta Falcons has not really been a dominant team all year. The numbers say different in some aspects, and those are the aspects that the next coaching staff, next regime can build on, right? The pass rush, the talent you got, the guys you got. You want to invest in Jalen and James Pierce, right? You want to invest in those guys, Rook Roro, Brendan Dorless. You still have Jason Bate on the team, Xavier Watts. You still got AJ. You can invest in those guys. Caden Ellis, I don't know about his status, but you can bring him back. Devon Diablo, you can bring him back, right? You can invest in those guys, right? We're gonna bring Zach Harrison back for another year. You can invest in that young defensive core you got, right? Offense goes without saying, right? You got Bijan, you have Drake London, right? You have a offensive line that's been consistent, right? Not as consistent they was in the past years, but they've been consistent enough for Atlanta Falcons to get wins, right? You have to do something with the receiver core. It's atrocious, right? So you have to build on some things. So it's some pieces there. Now, the biggest question of all is the quarterback position, right? We don't know how long it's going to take Michael Penix Jr. to recover. And at this point, we don't know if Michael Penix Jr. do future because we didn't get to find that out because he sustained an injury, right? So that's still something for the new coaching staff, the new regime to kind of figure out. I know I came in here and said that, I don't know if they're going to get rid of him because of that, but you can't run it back, man. You just can't do it, right? I don't see a scenario where Arthur Blank allows Raheem Morris to have a third season. The only way I can see it if he changes coaching staff around, right? And we see that he's not willing to do that right now. He's not willing to change his coaching staff around. So, all right, we got to see. This is what we got, guys. And I'm just going on record. I have season tickets. I'm not going any more games. I'm just not doing it. I can't waste my time, man. I'm still watching the team, right? And I report on this team every week because it's my team, man. I'm not giving up. I'm not disowning this team. I don't see why I'm not. I don't know. I'm like a battered battered person for my loved one. Just keep beating me down and I stick around. I don't know what it is, but I'm here to stay. So I'm going to be a Falcon fan no matter what, right? It's just disappointing and it sucks, man. It really do. Get some of these comments, man. It's such that we beat the shit out of the Buffalo Bills and lose to the worst teams in the league. Can't explain it, bro. Can't explain it. I don't know what to say to that. I agree. I agree 100%. So who I like to see the head coach? Hey, at this point done, hey, bring in Kubiak. I don't know, man. You throwing his name out there, bring him in. He can't be no worse than Raheem Morris. I feel like he one of the worst coaches in Atlanta Falcons history. So, and you look at his resume, it's not like something to write home about anyway. It's really not. He said it sucks, yeah. Um, Made me feel like the game is fixed. I know, man. It does seem like that, but it's not. It's not just who we are, man. This is who we are. This is who we are. And you know, if you've been watching the Falcons long enough, you can sense it. You can sense when they about to lose, right? You can sense it. Like yesterday when they tied the game up again, and I knew it was gonna go 3-0. I just knew it. I just knew it was gonna go 3-0, and exactly what we did. Last season was harsh, but this season is even more disappointing. Yeah, this season, man, I ain't gonna lie. This season here, it's like a gut punch, man. It's like this one of my worst seasons being a Falcon fan. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's one of my worst seasons. And like this goes back to like when Michael Vick went to jail, and we that was a bad season. But this probably the worst season because we had so much hope for this team, and we see the potential of this team. Like it's probably one of the worst seasons ever. And like it's really bad because next season, because of the new coaches and unsure about what we're gonna do at the quarterback position, it's just like man, like next season is already done too. That's what it feels like almost. So like, it's just this right one of the worst seasons for me in a long time. Would the Falcons trade Bijan to London for draft picks? I hope not, man. If they do that, I'm gonna tell you right now, I have never left the team, left the Atlanta Falcons for no reason. But if they start doing dumb stuff like trading Bijan and Drake, the best players they got on their team, I'm done. Because you don't draft is a crapshoot, right? You don't know who you're gonna get in the draft. You know who you got in these two guys. These guys are stud. They should be foundational pieces. So they shouldn't be wanting to trade Bijan and Drake. But if they do, I gotta start questioning what the hell is going on, man. That's to be honest with you. I still believe in the Falcons had a top five roster going into the season. We all did. We all believe that. We all believe that. And on paper they might do still. But definitely not what we see. Like I said, you can talk about what the team has on paper, but we got to start believing what we're seeing on the field. And right now, what we see on the field is not what we need. Does Shadur interest you? Hell yeah, hell yeah, man. I love the kid. I love the kid. That's why I'm glad the New Orleans Saints didn't draft him because I would have had to root for him, root against him. And you know, I love the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers look like shit. I love the fact that the Raiders look like shit. Right? They should have drafted the kid. They should have drafted the kid. And I believe Shadir Sanders has the talent to get it done. Yes. So if that somehow would happen, make it happen. But at this point in time right now, the Atlanta Falcons, um, like I said, it's unknown, man. That's why this season is so disappointing because we're going into next season. We don't even know who our quarterback going to be. We don't know who our coach is going to be. And if they bring Raheem back, it's like, what? Like, you brought him back for another season of the same shit? He's not a winning coach. You gave him 2 years, man. He's not a winning coach. It's just that simple. He's not. They're brother and everything. Matter of fact, me and Raheem brought around the same age, man. Sorry, bro. You ain't the guy. What's going on, T Terry? Just been, man. Ricardo Penix was injured when drafted. You think so? You think he was injured when we drafted him? I had high hopes for the kid, man. I still do. I mean, honestly, deep down inside, I hope he succeed. Um, I like his story more than anything, right? You know, kid that went through all this and still wanted to come out. He had 2 excellent seasons in the University of Washington, right? You know, he was willing to change his game, to stay healthy, and it just didn't pan out for him. I just wish he had a whole year, this whole rest of this year, to to find himself. Now, new coaching regime potentially coming in. Is he the guy? Right? When his timeline, when he's going to be ready to go, all this stuff it comes into play. You know, maybe he had the Adrian Peterson blood. Like Wolverine to come back early. Remember Adrian Peterson came back from the ACL and ran shop over the league, right? But that's like one in a lifetime kind of players to do shit like that. So more than likely, if anything, Penny won't be ready to training camp next year, which means the Atlanta Falcons will definitely have to have a concession plan in place to come in to fill in for that quarterback position. I think they got to get Kirk Cousins go. They need that cap space, right? They can't give him any more money. They need to let him go. They need to cut Kirk Cousins, right? He's going into his 37th season. There's no reason if you want to keep Matty Ice after his 37th season, no need to keep Kirk Cousins after 37th season. You need to cut bait on that and let it go, right? And bring in somebody. I don't know who to bring in, man. I really don't. I have no clue. Somebody makes a Shador. Shit. If Cleveland Brown willing to trade him, let's do it. Connor, you and Glenn looks alike. Man, I don't look like Glenn. Well, I look like him from yesterday. You know why? Because we won. So yeah, cool. Yeah. We beat the Falcons. I was reading somewhere where 49ers might trade their quarterback. He hasn't worked out for them. Who? Which quarterback? We don't want him. He just got paid. We don't need that contract. You talking about Brock Purdy? We don't want Brock Purdy. He just got paid. The Atlanta Falcons need to if Penix don't work out, they need to go in another direction, man. Simple as that. Kyle Trask will probably be the quarterback. That's what they're gonna do. That's what they're gonna do. Kyle Trask. I don't know. 80 on here. What's the BS? BS today? Ain't no BS, man. I'm just being real about this team. They are not a good team. They're not well coached at all. They're not well coached team. It's just that simple. They don't make plays when they have to make the plays on offense and defense. And that's who they are. So when we see it, we need to start believing what we see on the field, right? You can talk about the talent all you want. The talent is there. But when you can't execute in situational football, when you have to get it done, because it's easy to execute in the first quarter, when the game still, it's not on the line. Everybody plays well when the game ain't on the line, right? But when it get tight and you gotta make a play, these guys don't make plays, and they're not put in position to make plays. I don't know how many times throughout the years we've seen the Atlanta Falcons give up 10 plus yards to scrambling quarterbacks to in end the games. We do that all the time. That's what we do. So when, like I said, when they show you who they are, you need to start believing them. What's going on, Falcon Pueblo? Let's see here. Eagle backup quarterback Tanner McKee is a stud. Yeah, man. I'm not any of y'all suggestions that y'all got going on today. I'm cool with it. I'm just be honest with you guys. Any suggestion you got going on today, I'm cool with anything y'all say. Because at this point, we don't know what to turn. I say get rid of Penix after next year season if we don't work out. I mean, they got Penix for potentially 3 more seasons, right? If they execute their 5th-year option. So they're not a good team. No, we're not. We're not a good team. I agree. We say, would you like for us to get Mike McCarthy or Matt LaFleur from the Packers? I would rather, if I had to choose between those two, Matt LaFleur would be my better option. Don't want Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy is just one of those retread coaches that they keep retreading. Right? If you're gonna go with a coach, bring in some fresh blood, man. Even Raheem was a retread coach. Bring in some fresh blood, and John Moreno keep talking about Kubiak's son. Bring in him. You know, that could be an idea. That kind of keeps the Atlanta Falcons offensive scheme intact, right? That West Coast offense, that wide zone scheme where they're so successful running the ball right now. That kind of keeps that still tied in, but you bring in the West Coast concepts with a play caller that's more seasoned, right? Because they kind of had that with Zach Robinson, you thought, but he's not not getting it done. So facts, man. They can't execute when it matters. They can't execute when it matters. 100%. They don't execute when it matters. Eddie says throwing guys off the train too fast. They're growing, but not fast enough for these ruthless fans. Dude, it ain't no growing. It's not growing, bro. And this is the reason I'm gonna tell y'all. So listen, when the Atlanta Falcons decided to move back in the draft and pick up James Pierce at number 26, they convinced the fan base and the owner that this team was not going to be in the top 10 of the draft this upcoming season. Right now, the Atlanta Falcons is in the top 10 of the draft. It's a complete failure. James Pierce was a great pick. He's been, him and Jalen Walker has been straight up studs. But the fact that the Atlanta Falcons is going to be in the top 10 pick, where we're getting the Los Angeles Rams a top 10 pick next year, because Raheem Morris and Terry Fontenot convinced Arthur Blank that it was a good idea to move back into the first round to get James Pierce, which was a good pick. I'm not complaining about getting James Pierce. I'm complaining about the season that they're having, because that pick is going to look like one of the worst trades in NFL history now, right? Because you're going to be in the top 10. The Los Angeles Rams, team that potentially could win a Super Bowl this year, is going to have a top 10 pick because we give it to them, because our coach and our GM convinced the owner that we was going to be a decent team this year, and we wasn't going to be the team we are. So that's why you got to let it go. You can't stay with this regime, man. And Terry Fontenot did an excellent job, but since he's been here, the Atlanta Falcons have not been in the playoffs. Right now, Arthur Blank have kept Thomas Dimitrov. He kept Thomas Dimitrov. He fired, a coach. So I'm not saying that Terry Fontenot going to be out the door, but he was part of that convincing Arthur Blank. They got, think about it. They went and got Michael Penix. We don't know how that's going to turn out now because of another injury of an injury-prone quarterback that they drafted in the top 10. They convinced Arthur Blank to go back into this draft to get James Pierce, which is a great pick. I'm not taking away from the pick, but the fact that Atlanta Falcons could be a top 10 pick this year is bad. That is bad. I mean, this team, because the thought process that they're young and they're still growing, if you really thought they was young and still growing, you would never give up your first round draft pick then, right? So he felt like this team was playoff bound, and that's not the case. So he failed. He failed. That's what it boils down to. He failed. He failed the players. Right? Now they're gonna have to learn a new scheme and all that crap. He failed, man. And that's what it boils down to. Yep. Three. I mean, there's some players. I think Shannon. I forget who. Shannon mentioned a guy that had that many sustained, ACL injuries and played a long season in a long career in NFL. So, it's not like his career is done, man. Right? All the protections they got on quarterbacks now in the NFL, right? He could play a long, healthy season. We just don't know. The problem is we don't know if he's the franchise or not, right? If he was the franchise and got hurt, it wouldn't be a big deal. We come back like, okay, we got our quarterback, but we still don't know if he's our quarterback. That's the problem. Michael Penix going up. He got a Super Bowl though. Who? Raheem? He ain't got a Super Bowl. His team he playing with, we coach with, he got the Super Bowl. Bijan always positive attitude after loss. Yeah, Bijan, man, he's never gonna throw a teammate on the bus, a coaching on the bus, and stuff like that. I mean, he's just a good teammate. He did his job yesterday. Almost 200 all-purpose yards. He ain't got nothing. He you know what? He could be like, I did my part, and Bijan, you did, because you my fantasy running back. Good job. Good job. Mr. Blank should have fired Raheem in New Jersey and should have told him we would help you and your family pack up, send your stuff. Well, he from New Jersey. You could just stay up there with probably one of his family members or something like that. The same about Mike Tomlin. He got a ring. Maybe Tomlin need a new place to coach only if he's dismissed. Yeah, man. We'll take him in a heartbeat because I can promise you this. Those boys going to be ready to play. They're going to be ready to play. Tomlin fault. Let me tell you Tomlin problem. Tomlin problem is that he never got a quarterback. That's his problem. After Big Ben left, he never got a quarterback. Should have got Shador. I feel where Eddie coming from. I was supporting Morris, but I'm done and made the video about this morning. Yeah, it's a done deal, man. It's like I said, I felt like he had a third year as well, right? Because they want to see Michael Penix grow, right? And I felt the injury kind of helped Raheem. But at this point, man, it's no coming back from this. You lost to the Jets, bro. You lost to the two-win Jets. And it's over, bro. It's over. And then not taking, where's the accountability? You got faith in Marquise Williams? The special team's been atrocious this year. I get it, bro. But it's about wins and losses and production and non-production. Here you go after 3 games. The special teams been crashed all season long. That's why we lost the game, because special teams. And you got confidence in him. You even said yourself you wanted to kick it out of the end zone because you didn't trust your kick coverage. Why you don't trust your kick coverage? You practice all week. The guys you got out there, they're not, just Man, come on, bro. I don't want Terry gone either. I like his moves, man. But man, did you see Walker preaching to the team after halftime? He's already bringing Georgia. But yeah, man, he was in no boy. I saw that he was trying to get Georgia hype. He's a natural leader, man. But they can't make plays when it's time to make plays. That's their problem. They can't make plays when it's time to make plays. Just that simple. I just don't like how Marvin take blames but doesn't put his staff accountable where they make mistake. I want a coach who, yes. I'm telling you, man, like you the head coach. The book stops with him. But you have to hold it. Like the problem I got with Raheem Morris, and this, like a lot of fans talking about this as well. The fact that after 3 games, you fired your offensive court, your wide receiver coach. You got rid of Ray McLeod, right? What did they do? I mean, this is after week 3 now. This is after week 3, right? Atlanta Falcons 1-2, so it's not like the sky had started falling yet. You fire Ike Hilliard after week 3. You got rid of Ray McLeod, and now all of a sudden, nobody's at fault. No changes been made since then, none whatsoever. So you healthy scratching players that have been playing for you all season long, like Casey Washington, like Cordell Hart. You healthy scratch those guys and bring guys up from the practice squad. Like, and you say Cordell didn't do something he was supposed to do last week. Like, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's going on. Don't know what's going on. Eddie says you got to build and start somewhere. Just take a look at the Texans did 2.5 years ago. Decent the first year, fell off the second year. Start the Falcons ain't been decent since Raheem Morris been there. They have nothing to build off of. You would think last year they was building off last year, right? They went 89 last year, and you would think they was building. The point of the matter is that he's going to be worse in his second year than he was the first year. That doesn't seem like a build. It seems like a going backwards. That's what it seems like. Now, if you tell me they win 10 games this year, and they miss the playoffs, that's building. But you going backwards instead of forward. So it seems like the team's getting worse, and you increase the talent. That's the problem, right? Think about it. Atlanta Falcons had 31 sacks last year, the whole entire season. They got 41 now. They third in leading sacks. So you got better talent this year, but your record is worse. That's not building. So you would be right if you can see the progression from the team and the team building something, but we don't see that. Yeah, he failed, man. He failed. It's just that simple, right? You can't give away your first round pick and say we're not. And this how his word. We don't plan to be in the top 10 this upcoming draft. Well, guess what? Right now, Atlanta Falcons in the top 10. Just putting it out there. That's where some coaches fail, that they don't have a lot of passion to win. They just make money and lose and keep moving from team to team. Yeah, man. You're right. Oh, you talking about Mike McCarthy? You talking about Mike McCarthy got a Super Bowl? Yeah, he got a Super Bowl. Yeah, a long time ago. 2010. 2010. You can't. You gonna how long you gonna live off that 2010 Super Bowl? That's like Mike Tomlin. He the same way, man. It's a long time ago. At least Mike Tomlin wins. Has never had a losing season though, so you can't say that. Teams go through these ways, especially from a scouting and building team culture perspective. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care about the building. We know. By the time you get through building, Bijan, we don't Beat won't even be himself anymore, man. He be done lost all this. Like you gotta get a wider striker now. You want to start winning. You got a young quarterback, so you can build around him. You got a nice young, nice young running back, nice young receiver. You want to build around that, right? You don't want to wait. How many years you going to give this guy? That's the question. How many years you going to give this guy? The Jets are playing better, man. No, whatever. Jets was dead in the water the whole first half. Atlanta Falcons had 7 points, man. No, hit that mess. Yes, Mike Tomlin is old school and has a passion to win. I feel like he comes in here will have defense elite, but he needs the right OC. Arthur Smith sucks. Yeah, man. He need he needs. He picked Arthur Smith was bad. Like, we could have told him that though. Dan Orlovsky did a stat by the Pittsburgh Steelers today. He said the Pittsburgh Steelers have played the most defensive snaps in the NFL this year and the least offensive snaps in the NFL. Good to go, Arthur Smith. The most defensive snap and the least offensive snaps. Good to go, Arthur Smith. That's Arthur Smith in a nutshell, man. I wish Atlanta fans were more like Philly fans. They won't change. Trust me, man. These Atlanta fans off the change this year. They want blood. Just like Eddie said, yeah, we done, bro. We done with the whole waiting. Fans should do that. Yep. I want a coach who can come here and build a winning dynasty. Yes. I want a coach come in and you miss a block, get out the game. That's what I want a coach like that. I want a coach like that. That's what I want. I want a coach where you be held accountable, man. You miss a tackle, get out the game. False start, get out the game, man. Like, we ain't got time for that. You get paid too much money, do your damn job. And that's what kind of coach we need. We don't have that. That's what the kind of coach we need. I want a coach like Mike Tomlin, Matt LaFleur, if they're available. Yeah, if they get rid of one of those coaches, let's do this. Recall I said the Falcons beat the Saints 2-7 teams, but I said I didn't see us beating the Jets. You didn't see us beating the Jets, man. Damn, that's sad. That's sad. We should have beat the Jets. If we were special teams yesterday, we would have beat the Jets. We should have beat the Jets. Plays can't make plays, bro. That falls back on the growth, as I stated. And Scouts organization will tell you that, especially when you got what you have in players. I like our players. So I'm not even talking about players. I think we need to add to the core that we got. But we need new coaches to lead them. Their coach is different. Coach Morris, he has passion to win. I like Morris, but I don't see it no more. He is not making the step. No, he lost the team, man. A lot of people say he lost the team in week 3. So a lot of people say that when he got rid of Ike Hilliard and then used him as a scapegoat, and then he got rid of Ray McLeod because Ray McLeod didn't like he got rid of Ike Hilliard. That's probably what it was. Then got T.J. Yates, a quarterback, being a receiver coach, and you wonder why these guys can't catch passes, man, when they need to catch them. Like, come on, man. Raheem Morris said that he was raised by Italian in New Jersey. Was it Mr. Blake? Seems he must got something on Arthur Blank, don't he? You right about that. He says same thing about the Eagles. Nick Sirianni isn't making staff changes, and they're Super Bowl champs. And Raheem do the same thing. They're not wanting to throw his coaches under the bus. To me, it's not throwing your coaches on the bus, right? Like, and this is what I mean, right? We all got jobs, right? If you adult, you probably got a job, right? And if you get hired to do a job, and if you're not doing your job, they have to replace you with somebody else that's going to do the job. It's just that simple. It's not throwing your coaches on the buses, right? So if I say we need to be the best, if I come in as a head coach and say we need to be better on third down, why we're not better on third down, right? And I say that. So we're going to rep it this week. We're going to rep it this week in practice. And in practice, we're completing third downs and it looks good, right? Why does it not look good in the games, right? They say you practice like you play. That's what they say. So so it tells me that something not translating from the practice field to the game field. Because if you're practicing and you say that we're going to be better on third down, but when you get in games, you can never execute on third downs. 4 for 12 is not going to get it done. Go back and look where we were last week against the Aints. Even though we won that game, we was not good on third down. These are the things I'm talking about. These are the things we hold your coach accountable about. When I say I want to see better results on third down, that's what I mean I want to see as a coach. And if I don't see that, we're going to have some changes. We need to change the players. We need to change the personnel. Or we need to change you, coach. You're the one calling the plays. Something ain't working. Why are we keep being bad on third down? That's what I mean. So if that's the case, we need to do better on third down. That's what. So you're not holding them accountable, and you don't want to throw them on the bus, but they're not doing the job you asked them to do. You didn't ask him to be the one of the worst third down team. You didn't hire him to be one of the worst third down teams in the league. That's not what you hired him to do. So he's not doing his job. So you're not throwing him on the bus if he's not doing his job, right? Special team coach. If your job is to make sure we get great field position on special teams, on kickoff and kickoff return, right? Punt and punt return. That's your job. And make sure your kicker, you coach him up to make sure he make kicks. That's your job as a special team coach. And if that's not happening, you're failing your job. It's that simple. We all got a job to do. If you're not doing your job, why are you still here? If you can't, if I gotta do it, I don't need you. Like I'm telling you guys, man, it's that simple. Well, Arthur Blank and Rich McKay don't fire him. We'll see. Us fans, we want better than Morris, but he let us down. I don't know if they're gonna fire him, guys. I really don't. I really don't know if that's gonna be the case. They were playing sorry as Falcons, Eddie. You talking about the Jets? Hey, we the get right team, baby. Get right team. I wish we were around in the '80s when I see coaches' passions, how they're passionate to win, chewed off the media during press conference. I wish coaches were still, yeah, man. I wish I could be a coach. You jokers hate me. They hate me. I'm especially because we all saying this coaching, right? But it's nowhere in hell. It's nowhere in hell. I coached a scheme and you didn't get it. You didn't run the play like you were supposed to. Like you didn't do your containment. You ran up the wrong gap. You missed tackles. You did something that you weren't supposed to do. And I was a coach. Oh, you be out the game with the quickness, man. You be out the game with the quickness. We don't see that no more, man. And these guys make so much money. And they don't live and die on these games. You can see after the game they smiles and stuff like that. That's why it ain't that many Hall of Famers and all these football players that played in the NFL throughout the years. That's why there's only 200 and some Hall of Famers. Because those guys wanted it. They wanted to win. It wasn't just a job to them. They wanted to win. And us fans, us fans got more passionate about winning than some of these players. It's just a fact. Just a fact. It don't hurt them enough, right? When they lose. It don't hurt them enough, man. Like as a fans, we more passionate than some of these players are, right? It's just a job to them, right? That's why it's only 200 something Hall of Famers in history of the NFL, and it's probably over 7 or 8,000 that's played in this, in throughout the time. But it's only like 200 something Hall of Famers. You know why? Because those guys they played for the love of the game and they wanted to win. Today we don't have that. These guys be too. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Yep, these dudes make too much money. They fail us on fans. Yep. Eddie says he's not going where Arthur has faith in Raheem to be competitive next year, but he will be fired in the season next year if Raheem here next year, they better be ready for the Mercedes-Benz Stadium to be empty. I'm just telling you right now. I've been a Falcon fan for a long time. And these are the most fair weather fans in the NFL. I'm just telling you right now. I met people, because I go to the games. I met people already say they're not buying tickets next year. If Raheem Morris there next year, they gonna lose some. They gonna lose some money. I'm telling you that right now. They gonna lose some money. So you can say he got faith in Raheem all you want. They gonna lose some money, brother. Telling you, I know for a fact. This fan base ready for that dude to be gone. He did to himself 6-14 in the last 20 games. Man, please. 6-14 in the last 20 games. Right? We done lost to the Carolina Panthers 3 times. Man, get out of here, man. He got to go. Rick I was listening to John Gruden's show. He would be perfect. He would hold players. Yes, there you go. I would take him in a heartbeat. I would take John Gruden in a heartbeat. I'm glad I'm not a season ticket holder. I'll be pissed just watching it. Hey, dude, I am pissed. I am pissed. And like I said, it's some fans that sit around me that they're not renewing their tickets next year. They're done. They're done. They get paid millions. They don't care. But yeah, they don't care. They don't give a fuck. Would Jalen Hurts interest you in a trade? He's a winner, man. But his receivers would not like him because he don't like to throw the ball. Oh, I hate to lose. I with you, man. I hate to lose. Let's bet. I guarantee you he'll be here. I'm not betting. I'm not betting you. He might be here next season, but I'm just saying he better be looking. It's gonna be an empty stadium next season. He can be here all he wants. It's gonna be an empty stadium because I'm nobody, no fan, no Atlanta fan believe in that dude. No radio, local talk host, no media member, nobody believe in Raheem Morris. So Arthur Blank believe in him. Whoop de doo, that's good for him. But he ain't got nobody that supporting him right now. I can promise you that. They lost to the Jets yesterday. It's a wrap, bro. I don't think they would have traded Jalen Hurts, giving up a quarterback. Nah, I don't get right at it. I wouldn't want him. Arthur got Home Depot money. Yeah, so he said, hell no, screw John Gruden. I wouldn't want him on the team. I'd give up watching the Falcons if they are. Damn. That's personal. That's personal. That's personal. And like I said, he do have some issues, man. He do. So I would honestly have to overlook some of the issues he had for him to be part of the Atlanta Falcons. You said ruthless behind. Yeah, man. Yeah, we do. We ruthless as hell. I can tell you right now, I know a lot of Falcon fans. Ain't nobody behind Raheem Morris. Nobody, bro. Tell you that right now. I ain't seen one person to be like, yeah, they need to keep him. Not one person. Not one person, bro. He said he only got Super Bowl because Tony Dungy. You talking about John Gruden? Well, bring him in as offensive coordinator then. What about that instead of head coach? Allow switch players John. Yeah. And then you were this right here is Falcon fan forever. This is right here is where the John Gruden conversation probably start with a lot of people because of those emails. So I agree with you 100% on that. And that's why he probably won't be coaching again in this league because of that. He said John Gruden would not turn the team around fast. Like I said, I don't know who they. I'm with John. John Moreno said, "Bring in Kubiak, son. Bring him in, man. Bring him in." That would take it 2-3 years away. Damn, we don't want John Gruden if you feel that way about it. Hey, but guys, I'm finna end this. I've been here about an hour and 30 minutes now. I enjoy talking to you guys, man. We vent Falcon fans. We get on here, and we got Eddie on here, the resident football guru, right? He got all the insider tips. That's why he's so sure that the Falcons going to keep Raheem. But we on here. We wrapping it up about this team. And one good thing about years like this is that by now we already come to grips with the season's over, and we can kind of get over it by the end of the season, right? So still gonna watch every game, still gonna root for my team to win every week, right? But and now I'm looking at individual numbers, right? I'm trying to see how many sacks can Jalen Walker and James Pierce get in their rookie season, right? They both got 5 sacks right now, right? That's huge for rookies, right? You go back and look at rookie pass rushers, right? Especially except the freak, right? Yeah, that dude was ridiculous. He did something that no rookie would ever freaking do. But what they're doing is special, right? So we get to see that performance by those two guys. You get to see Bijan, see how many all-purpose yards he's gonna end up with. Before the game, he had over 1,300. He almost had 200 yards, so he's at like over 1,500 all-purpose yards right now. Right? Let's see, can he get over 2,000 before the end of the season? Right? We're looking at individual accolades right now, guys, because at this point, so you want to see the growth from guys like Brandon Dorless, Rook Rural, the two rookies, James and Jalen, those guys. And see Xavier Watts. See, can he, get more interceptions? He lead the team in interceptions right now with 3. So we want to see some growth from some of these young players, right? That's what we can look forward to the rest of the season. But be ready for a change, right? If Arthur Blank don't get the fans what he wants, man, he better be looking for some loss of money start next season. I'm just telling you what I know. Just telling you what I know. Yeah, you too, man. I agree. Moreno Kubiak is ready because his coaching scheme. Yep, bring Kubiak in. I think I'm already subscribed to your channel. If I'm not, I definitely got you. I'll go subscribe right after this. But I think I'm already subscribed to your channel, big dog. Which team would you want more to miss the playoffs, the Bucks or the Panthers? The Panthers. I don't dislike the Bucks. I don't know why. I like the Bucks, man. I like the coach. I like Baker Mayfield. I like the way he plays football. So I don't have any animosity against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But the Panthers, they felt like they're a rivalry with us for some reason. And I don't like that. Because we own the Panthers, man. But not in the last 3 games. They whooping our ass these last 3 games. So, man. Yeah, so I'm like Falcon fan forever. I like Todd Bowles, man. And I like Baker. I like both of those guys. So, um, I don't know. I think Mike Evans hurt, but man, Mike Evans, true Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? I just like the way the Bucks play. Vita Vale is a beast. Like I like the Bucks. Right? So if anybody can get it done, hopefully the Bucks. You know, they own this division the last 4 years anyway. So why not make it five? Right? So let's see if they can get it done. But yeah, I don't want the Panthers to win. If they get a ring before the Falcons, I'd be flat out. Talking about in Carolina Panthers. Yeah, man. Man, only look, Carolina Panthers only play well against the Falcons. Well, and then Matthew Stafford gave them like a give me yesterday, 3 turnovers that he had, pick six, interception, and a fumble. Like, what was Matthew Stafford on yesterday? Gave him the game, man. Just gave the Panthers the game. So it is what it is, man. But guys, you said the Panthers been around since 1995. We've been around since 1966. The Panthers go to the Super Bowl. They did go. Remember, they did go. That 15-1 with Cam. That 15-1. But I don't think that. I think one of the NFC West teams, the Niners, the Rams, or the Seahawks, is going. And then you got to put Green Bay in there. Green Bay looking good. Chicago Bears is a surprise. Let's just say that Chicago is a surprise. But we don't know who going for the NFC. But we know one team won't be there. It'll be our Atlanta Falcons. You probably he'll be so pissed. Yeah, me too. All right, guys, there you have it, though. He said with Jake DeLome. All right, guys, I want to give you some things to think about, right? So next time we talk, so when you come on here, have some questions. But one of the things is the fact that, who's going to be our quarterback filling in for Michael Penix till he get healthy next year? That's got to be a question, right? We need to identify that. I think that's going to be on the coaching staff and the GM. Once the season starts, we got to figure that out. Like I said, I think Kirk Cousins' time needs to be up. We need that money, right? We need that cap space, right? Because we need to be able to build around our young team. That's what we need to do. Hopefully, they decide to part ways with Kirk Cousins, bring in a veteran quarterback. Don't know who that's going to be right now, right? Because that guy is going to probably, take all the snaps, doing OTAs, doing mini camp and things like that. Michael Penix should be back by training camp. All right, depends on how his surgery went and things like that. So we'll definitely be able to get a timeline. We haven't heard a timeline on Michael Penix yet. So that's one thing we need to do. Think about the quarterback situation moving into next season for Atlanta Falcons. We just talked about coaches. Think about coaches if they do decide to let Raheem go. What about the coaching search? What we need to look at, right? Do we want to bring in a fresh coach that has never been a head coach before, or do we want to go back into the retread pool and bring in a retread coach and bring those guys in? So it's a lot to think about, right? If the new coach is willing to put their coaching job on Michael Penix, or they want to bring in their own quarterback. Those are some of the things that's going to have to take place this coming off season, right? So just be looking for that. We'll start talking about the salary cap here soon. Looking at the Falcons salary cap, see where they're at. See how much dead cap they're going to have. Things like that. Feel they can't even go out and get any free agents, right? Those are some of the things that the Falcons need to be looking at. One good thing is we do have a young, between last year's draft and this draft, pretty good draft classes from both of those years, right? And then you go back into looking at our first round picks, over the years, really good, right? So they have foundational pieces. So it won't be like a new coach coming in if they decide to bring a new coach in, which I think they really don't have a choice. But we need to they have something to build off of, right? Now, one thing is a quarterback, right? So that's going to be the first key, right? That was Raheem, his whole claim, he had to get a quarterback in there, right? And they made one of the moves nobody never had seen before. They paid the quarterback 150 million, and they drafted the quarterback in the top 10. So, right, they was determined to fix that situation, right? But I can honestly say I don't think the quarterback play is being the reason we've been losing games. I'm just being honest. Don't think that's the reason we've been losing games. I think over the last 4 seasons, that was the case. I thought the quarterback play was so bad that we lost games because we turned the ball over a lot. That had not been the case with Michael Penix and not Kirk Cousins so far. We have not turned the ball over and put the team in bad situations and stuff like that. So I don't think the quarterback play, and that has not been, you know, stellar quarterback play per se, especially from young Michael Penix. He was still growing and things like that. But I don't think his play lost us games, right? I think more than anything, he kept us in games. He was a good, good game manager per se, and so. But those are some of the things we need to start looking at, guys. Just wrap your head around that. This season's over, right? They 4-8. They're pretty much out of the playoff picture. Only way the Falcons had a chance really to get in the playoffs, they had to win the division. That's not going to happen anymore. So, it's just that's just it. Let me get a couple more of these some more of these comments before we get up out of here. I was hoping for us to win against the Jets and end up in like the 2000. Yeah, man, that would have been nice to go on a run. Would you go after Sanders? Yeah, but not for Bijan though. Hell no. Hell no. Resign Pitts? Good question. That's something else to think about. That's a good question. I think it depends on the money. John Gruden is not a good coach. He won the Super Bowl with Tony Dungy team, and he has won crap now. Yeah. I think we passed the John Gruden thing. Kurt gonna be in Minnesota with JJ McCarthy, back up especially stay healthy. So we don't care about where Kurt goes. I feel sorry for Cousin and Penix Jr. Both of their seasons failed, and their coaches we're missing the playoff again. It sucks. Yeah, man. It's this is right here. Like I said, this is one of the worst seasons for me. I'm just being honest with you guys. Why isn't Dan Reeves not in the Hall of Fame? I know, man. He went to 4 Super Bowls with the Broncos, took the Atlanta Falcons to the Super Bowl. Didn't win them. Didn't win none of them, but still, you're right. You're right, man. Dan Reeves is a good ass coach. I bet you held people accountable. We couldn't have a great season if we won the games we should have. Yeah, man. I mean, I just talked about those 3 games. We should have beat the Jets. We should have beat the Colts. We should have beat the Patriots. We should have beat all 3 of those teams. Atlanta Falcons have 7 wins right now. Yeah, rest in peace to Dan Reeves. Yes. I met him in person. Oh, you did? Man, Dan Reeves is a good ass coach. I mean, he got Michael Vick. Off to a good start. He was a Cowboy. You messed up the whole Dan Reeves thing. We got to take everything back we said about Dan Reeves now. Since he was a Cowboy. All right, guys, there you have it. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Like I said, I enjoyed coming here, being about Atlanta Falcons. Right, this team is not good. We just need to go ahead and deal with it, man. Just deal with it this year, and let's be better next year. There you have it. This is your boy Ricondo. Come back at you with another video. Peace.